You're watching the K2 News Weekend Edition.
We begin this evening in Laramie, where the University of Wyoming Board of Trustees has decided to return an $800,000 donation from convicted sex offender Tony Searcy. Good evening, Wyoming. I'm Taylor Wirtz.
And I'm David Furtado. University spokesman Chad Baldwin says that the action this past week by trustees also included canceling any money Searcy pledged towards completing a $44 million athletic performances center in Laramie. Baldwin says the trustees did not give reason why they decided not to return the money and cancel the pledges. Searcy was convicted by a jury last month of assaulting a woman at his former house in Alcova Lake on June 25th of 2017. Searcy is in custody without bond, awaiting sentencing. According to the UW Foundation, several years ago, Searcy and his wife pledged $2 million to the weight room of the new performance center. And Wyoming legislators have endorsed allocating nearly $5 million for security improvements at K-12 schools. The Joint Appropriations Committee added the money to a supplemental school construction bill on Friday. Local districts say they would identify projects that they need. Del McComey, director of the state construction department, says a recent study identified more than $80 million in needed security upgrades statewide. McComey says newer schools may need remote door locking systems. Older schools need to install locks on doors throughout their buildings. The School Facilities Commission would approve any improvements. The Appropriations Committee also gave preliminary approval for $1 million in maintenance funds.
A Wyoming legislative panel has endorsed a bill to replace an aging and costly computer system used by multiple state agencies. Wyoming's decades-old revenue information system houses data from voter registration to driving records, costing $1.3 million annually to maintain. That's because so few programmers know that it's outdated code that the state must hire private contractors to remain it. The Joint Transportation, Highways, and Military Affairs Committee last week endorsed a bill authorizing the Transportation Department to spend up to $910,000 to prepare data for an eventual transfer to a cloud-based system, which could be provided by IBM. And hundreds gathered Saturday morning to participate in Wreaths Across America, an event dedicated to paying respect to veterans we've lost during this holiday season. Ryan Berger has more.
The Christmas wreath is a symbol meant to represent eternity. With no beginning and no end, it is the ultimate sign of enduring memory.
This one is special because it gives everybody a moment to really stop and remember, to say the names of the veterans, and to say just a special thank you to the men and women who have defended us and who fought for our freedom.
At the Oregon Trail State Veterans Cemetery, hundreds of Christmas wreaths were placed at the graves of those we've lost in battle.
And I think it's very important that we come here today to lay wreaths on those and honor those who have died.
The wreaths were supplied and delivered free of charge by truck drivers from all around the country. Inside, appearances by Senator John Barrasso and Congresswoman Liz Cheney, armed with speeches and anecdotes that honor the fallen.
But Wyoming has such a great tradition of service, higher than any other state in terms of military service. My father-in-law, Bob Brown from Thermopolis, he was in World War II and then got called back for the Korean War as part of the Cowboy Cannoneers, the 2-300s.
Wreaths were placed at the altar steps, each representing a branch of the military, as well as those unaccounted for to this day, those still missing in action, and all prisoners of war. Congresswoman Cheney contributed to a few of the thousands of wreaths that now line the grave sites. Each and every plot was adorned with a wreath. Even in death, no one is left behind.
I think of my grandparents, and they were all members of the greatest generation, and men and women, like millions of others across this country who answered the call.
Wreaths Across America is a nationwide event. This is only a snapshot of the tribute to those that paid the ultimate price, so that future generations can live free.
It's something that has to be fought for, protected, defended, and then passed on to the next generation to do the same.
That, the freedom we enjoy, it's not by accident, it's not free, it comes at great cost, and you've got to be willing to defend it in every generation. And it's moments like this and ceremonies like this that help us remember that.
In Evansville, Ryan Berger, K2 News.